Hey, well, a warm welcome to you. My name's Chris Gosling and we're here on Trucking TV at the start of a new year, 2019. So let me first of all wish you a very happy new year. Let's say a happy and prosperous new year based on the last thing we did before or over the Christmas holidays, which was the, I guess we have to call it the famous wage survey. The truth of the matter is we thought we had a very interesting result on that one, and to be honest with you, I thought that was really worth doing. I know that we had some odd comments here and there where people said, well, they didn't particularly think it was very accurate, but at least it gave us something of a picture. Okay, hi Martin, Happy New Year to you, mate. And I'll just queue up the next bits and pieces that are coming up on the show when I've worked out what I'm doing again, because of course, like most of these things, you go away for 10 minutes and kind of people change stuff, which is sometimes me, sometimes other people, but such is life. Okay, what are we going to talk about tonight? Well, we're really going to talk about what we've got coming up over the coming, I hope, next few weeks and months as we bash along into 2019. Going to be an interesting one, I think. It will be fascinating to see what we get out of the mighty Brexit thing, won't it? Whether that will destroy lots of drivers' jobs, I don't know. Who knows? I think it will probably bring home, or it may bring home. There's lines over the screen. It's my fault, actually, Martin. It's one of those things that happens, mate. I'm going to put up a menu on there. Better still, actually, I'll put something else on there. And there we go, we'll put this little picture up, which I think you may have already seen. I hope you have anyway, maybe not, don't know. There we go, there's that little picture. And that is the story from Kent. Now we have this issue, don't we, with Kent at Trucking TV, because Trucking TV, we watch what happens in the world around us, and one of the things that we see is the huge number of people who build massive industrial estates. They do all kinds of stuff like that. They build up big shopping areas like the famous. I'm looking for this grid line. Here we go, and let's press the right button on there, and there we go. Okay, and oh, interesting. And we look at this one and we go, my goodness, how come they expect to have huge shopping areas? How come they expect to have massive and I think you'd say very successful shopping areas, very successful business estates, very successful port of Dover. It's all huge stuff and it employs tens and hundreds of thousands of people. But the reality, of course, is that all this stuff is great, but you need trucks to supply the goods and to take the goods away and to pass through carrying goods for other parts of the UK. So what's the problem, Kent? I have a big problem with this personally, because I can't understand why you would think that you could have all of that business in your county and yet not provide decent parking spaces for the vehicles that carry the goods that you need and that you make, and that you know, it kind of isn't joined up thinking. It is, in fact, councillors of Kent, pretty bloody moronic, actually, I think, really. These guys really need to sort their acts out. Let's just double check this with Martin. Martin, is that all right for you, mate? I found the right button. Okay, so there we go. That's that one. That's that story from Kent. I get really quite hostile about this because I can't believe that people get so silly. What are we looking at? Let's look at the individual parking figures. We checked the parking figures on Kent Online. This is their story. And Kent Online says, well, in the Swale district, there were 246 vehicles parked on one specific night. In Canterbury, 98. In Ashford, 91. Tunbridge and Malling, 91. Dartford, 55. Dover, 53. Maidstone, 47. Sevenoaks, 45. Medway, 42. Gravesham, 40. Folkestone and Hythe 14, Thanet 10, making a total of 836 vehicles parked on the night when they did the survey. There were also, of course, vehicles parked in Kent's few truck stops. And Kent's few truck stops were doubtless full of vehicles. There's no question, really. When you go to Kent, finding the place to park is a big worry for many drivers. What do you do? So we'll be looking again at this, and we'll be asking drivers more about your experiences. So if you have experiences from, having a bad time in Kent, I'd like to hear about it. And on that subject, we've got a new thing actually just coming up. Let's just give you this one. Famous last words, see if it works. I love it. Okay, the technology is taking its time. So what I'll tell you is that I think about a week ago, 10 days ago, we noticed that actually we had the phone wrong on the on our note at the end of the programme. So we've corrected all that and we've put it right. So now you can voice message us or text message us on 07943 043 948. 07943 043 948. If you'd like to, I've just read something there. If you'd like to leave a message for us, we'll play it on the show. Bear in mind that bad language we can't really put up with because this goes out to all kind of people. And we hope to influence people to take notice of what drivers are saying. So the reality, I guess, is that we need to keep it within reasonable bounds. We don't have time to edit stuff, but if you want your voice to be heard, we need a voice message from you and we need a photograph of you, and we'll put it up on screen and everybody can see you making your point. Why not? Let's go down this route. You can also send us a text message. I can read that out or we'll stick it up on the screen. One way or another, let's get your voices out there and get you heard instead of me. I think that's a really good idea, but I would, wouldn't I? Okay, so there you go. 07943 043 948. You can use this number for anything you like. I really welcome crime reports on it and crime comments, if you like. We are very happy to have news, any kind of updated information that you think is important and relevant to other drivers. If you've got a message to give to other drivers, if you've got news to give to other drivers, then we really welcome it. So use the voice or text message line, or use Facebook, or use Twitter, or PM me, whatever you like. Get in touch. The more information we have from your good selves, the better. Okay, let's just take a look at another story. I've got another story today that I have to tell you, I really liked it. And I was really pleased to see this one. That's famous last words. See if I can see this gentleman. Here we go. Now, one of the things that we know about all the time really here is that there's so much bad news about the road haulage industry. It comes through to us all the time. So I rather look out for a decent news about something that a lorry driver has done or is doing, and that goes to try and correct the impression that people seem to have of the haulage industry. So let's do this one. I had a lump in my throat as I received the British Empire Medal, Burton lorry driver says, and that I think is a fantastic little story. A gentleman called Terry Ebbett. He has a family problem where other members of his family have had serious illnesses that's kind of genetic, I think, from the impression I get. And he's taken himself out of his kind of normal milieu, and insofar as he's a truck driver, but what he's done, as soon as he packs up work, he goes and does fundraising. This guy has raised 20 grand in fundraising for a good cause specifically, because he's raised it for the British Heart Foundation. I'm all in favour. Having had a heart attack about 20 years ago, I think that anyone who raises money for the British Heart Foundation is doing a damn good thing. Okay, let's go back and take a look at what people are saying. Mark Ogilvie says that Kent County Council would certainly change their minds if every driver didn't turn a wheel for a week. Well, yes, that's true, isn't it? But the reality, of course, Mark, is that drivers don't band together very easily. Let's face it, no one wants to belong to a trade union these days. So who organises it? I'm not out to organise strikes. I wouldn't mind if you did one because I'd cover it. But the reality is that people don't do it in this day and age. Truckers can change just by just stopping doing nights out. Well, you tell your boss and see what he says. I'll find someone else who'll do that, mate. And that's really where that one goes, isn't it? We need a better deal, don't we, guys? More subsidised truck stops nationally, desperately needed. I think you're very right, David Thornton. Very right indeed, and that certainly would be an extremely good way of doing things. It's amazing how our government can do stuff when it's important to them. So what we're talking about here, obviously, is things like Brexit, where they want to build massive truck stops for all the trucks that are parked up waiting to be customs cleared. Maybe, who knows? And but when it's a question of actually doing something decent for the people who do the job, well, it doesn't work out, does it? Derek Cooper, hello, young Derek. I hope you had a nice time at Christmas and didn't get too drunk. I certainly didn't. I did drink a bottle of scotch over the holiday, but I can't say it was all in one go. So, let me just go back to this one and go back to Tony Abbott. What a good bloke. He raised over £20,000 for the British Heart Foundation. And I think that people like this, he's got a full-time job. He works for DHL, which means that he works all the hours God sends. And in reality, he gets out there and raises money as soon as he gets out of work. I think that's terrific. I think the bloke deserves a medal, and I'm pleased to see he got one. So it's Terry Abbott. If you know Terry, give him a big, pat on the back from us, because people like this do incredible things. They do the things that our state should do to look after us, but of course, bloody doesn't. There you go. So people like Terry deserve a big slap on the back as well, not only for the fact he's raised the money for the BHF, but without people like him, let's be honest and say that half the developments in medicine wouldn't take place, and people like me would be going mouldy by now. There you go. Okay, so what else have we got from Derek Cooper? Thanks, I don't drink these days. That's a bit, I'm sorry to hear that. I don't really very much, but I do tend to treat myself a little bit at Christmas. Okay, so where are we going from next? Let's just have a look. I've just got a couple more little bits to cover. Bear in mind tonight that we're not doing our usual kind of crime reporty thing. Essentially, I suppose, because there we go, let's just go up to there. Because it's the wrong time of the year. I don't think we really looked yesterday to see what criminal activities were about, or this morning, should I say, to see what kind of problems were about, essentially because yesterday most people, I think, had the day off. It's a good question. We will get back to the news of crime, of problems, as soon as we get some. This is where I need to start appealing to you a bit. I know, not very appealing, but there you go. But the thing I'd like to start talking about is what we plan to do in the new year. So we're going to continue with the crime reports. We're going to continue with the general reporting as and when we can do it. But I also want to get a bit more interested in some of the crime that goes on as far as getting photographs and video is concerned. Yes, I did, Derek, and I'll come back to that later, probably next week or later in the week. I want to see if we can get a bit more information about migrants on the other side of the channel. We've been having, as you know, on TV, a lot of stuff about what's happening on the other side of the channel with migrants jumping in boats and coming over here and stuff. But that doesn't mean that the pressure in places along the French coast, ferry ports along the French coast, it doesn't mean that pressure has gone away. And I would like to get you guys out there who are coming back across the channel to shoot some video and send it to us. I don't want it exclusively, but I'd like to get it first, so that we have actually got something to hang a decent story on, because what we're trying to do, what I'm trying to do really, is to wake up the great British public and try and actually get some people on our side and try and get people to understand what's going on with both crime, with migrants, immigrants, illegal immigrants, call them what you will, and all of the other factors like parking in Kent that can make a driver's life pretty shitty. So there you go. That's what I would like to do. If you can get live or if you can get video of that kind of event to me, I'd like to have it first so that we can actually make an impact with it and get some coverage, and then we can go from there really. So let's see what you can do. Don't forget, when you're talking about crime, overnight crime, as far as any aspect of the transport industry is concerned, we've got this page now, which is TTV's Road Transport Crime Reports. Put in anything you like. That is a report of any kind of crime or anything that's related to crime. I'd really like to have that, and we'll report that every day when we get some news from you. And I think we're kind of getting to the edge of our show. Are we? Don't know, really. Yeah, I think so. Because the viewer count is going down. So there you go. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to be talking about all of these subjects over the next, I hope, over the next week or two or three. And the more news and information we get from you, the better. So whatever you like to send us, we will cover, and the more the better. Now, let's go on to what's next. What have we got that's next? I don't think there's much else left to do. No, there isn't. Okay, I'm going to remind you once again of this one, because I really think it's worthwhile doing. So if you're anywhere and you want to leave a message for us or give us a text message, I would love to hear from you. Use this for voice or text messages. It's 07943 043 948. Okay, and that just about completes us for today. So where will I go next? We'll go to this little thing, I think, when we can. No, we won't. We'll go to this little thing when we can. That's better. Okay, and we will say thank you so much for watching. Really, thank you so much for watching. We're trying to do a bit more, as you know, all the time. So what I'll try and do is to bring you a daily report. Sometimes it's going to be around midday, sometimes it's going to be in the evening. It just depends how the day goes as far as everything else in life is concerned. But we'll do our best to bring you a daily report and update you on crime hotspots and whatever else is happening. The more you send us, the more you give us, the more we can report. We obviously pick up stuff from other sources, but if you as a driver come across anything that concerns you and you think needs to be reported, for goodness sake, get in touch. Don't hesitate, because I'd love to hear from you. It's as simple as that. Okay, here we go again then.